Cooking with Sheila in the Gangster Goodies kitchen. I know I'm on this side today, right? So I have a special guest. Can you tell everyone your name?
Eric Stafford.
Okay, and so Eric wants to learn how to make curry chicken. So I'm going to show him how to do that, and I'm going to show you guys how to step through it too. So the first thing I did was I took a couple of chicken breasts, and I seasoned them and I cooked them.
Okay.
And then I sliced them up into little bite-sized pieces like that.
Okay.
Because although some people like their chicken just curried, you got the leg, the wing, the breast.
Right.
I like mine cut up.
Okay.
And so that's all seasoned and ready to go, y'all. Okay? And then we have onions and tomatoes and fresh garlic. And then we've got curry seasoning and a little bit of cayenne pepper, white pepper, and black pepper mix. Because I like mine with a little bit of heat too.
Okay.
Okay? And then we've got chicken broth and coconut milk.
And coconut milk.
And coconut milk, okay? So it looks like this is probably hot. So we're going to put our onions in.
Now the coconut milk, does that kind of like make the seasoning stick to the chicken, or?
So it is, I like using the coconut milk because it makes it creamier to me.
Okay.
You know, and so it makes it creamier, and then a Jamaican curry is going to have a little bit of coconut milk in it anyway.
All right.
Okay? And so we just kind of get those onions going. And I always say to layer the seasoning, so I'm going to go ahead and start layering the seasoning. So I'm going to put a little bit of this pepper blend in here, y'all.
Okay.
And you just kind of sprinkle.
On top of the onions.
On top of the onions, yes.
So that's where the layering comes in at.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Instead of waiting till the end to season stuff, you build that flavor profile.
Okay.
Yes. So as those onions are browning, it smells so good, y'all.
Yes, it does.
So, Eric, can you tell everyone the name of your business?
Well, the name of my business is the Kansas City Tour Company, www.kansascitytourcompany.com. Hi, I'm Eric Stafford. I lead Streetcar KC, a civil rights tour. Successful slave revolt that ever took place throughout the transatlantic slave period was led by those three people. Toussaint Louverture, Henry Christophe, and John Dessalines led the Haitian slave revolt against the French and overthrew the French. They actually defeated Napoleon Bonaparte. I've been in business for about 12 years.
Awesome.
I was first inspired to get into business as far as doing tours is concerned. I actually have a background as a poet. Actually, I haven't done any poetry
look at
in a
you.
while, but yeah, that's my background was poetry. People know me as far as doing poems down at CMSU, where I got my degree in history from.
Love it.
I was kind of like, not the campus poet, but I did a lot of poetry on campus back then.
I love it.
In the
Can you smell that onions and garlic? So we just put in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of chopped garlic, fresh garlic. Or if you don't want to chop it yourself, buy that jar of garlic that's already chopped up. Already chopped up. And so then we're going to add a little bit more seasoning.
Now what is that?
So this is just a pepper blend.
A pepper blend, okay.
And so next,
yeah, I can really smell it now.
Can't you smell that?
Oh, yeah.
I know, I keep saying that one of my grandsons is going to invent smell-o-vision.
Probably make a ton of money.
Yes, absolutely. And then just a few tomatoes, you know. I like tomatoes. It's not necessarily the traditional way, but, you know, I like tomatoes.
That's your style.
That's my style. So put little tomatoes in there.
Yeah, so I first got involved or passionate about history while I was at Penn Valley Community College.
Okay.
And so I had some fantastic teachers. My African American history teacher's name was Dr. Gerald Hall. He went to Sumner High School.
I've heard that name before. Yes.
Yeah, he went to Sumner High School over in Kansas City, Kansas. I had Dr. Karen Curls. Lloyd Daniels. He was a mentor of mine. He taught over at Penn Valley, and he was actually a poet. He is actually a poet as well. So I got into poetry. Just I just started waking up and becoming a lot more conscious, and started to kind of find my purpose in what I wanted to do.
Awesome.
And so I finished at Penn Valley, then went on to Central Missouri State University, and ended up graduating with a degree in history.
Awesome.
And then I was down at CMSU, and I thought, well, everybody needs to know Black history.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, with Black history, I could probably just, you know,
do
kick
all
off the
kind of
revolution
stuff.
or something.
Yes, I know that. Right.
But anyway,
you know what they say: the revolution won't be televised.
Right.
Power
but anyway,
to the people.
I came back to Kansas City, and I was teaching at Genesis School, and you know, I was able to hold their attention, but they were more so into Jerry Springer a lot. You
Got
know,
it.
And,
yes.
Master
yes.
P.
Yes.
It ain't my fault and all that. So that was kind of.
They wasn't trying to hear that Black.
They wasn't trying to hear anything about.
They wasn't trying to hear that revolutionary
pyramids
stuff.
and Egypt or the Black Panthers or anything like that. But part of the curriculum was showcasing the African American historic sites.
Okay. Okay.
And it was called. It was a program called Hip Hop Tours.
Okay.
And so. It was student led.
Okay.
And but you know, I did a lot of the research and everything, and did a lot of the tours and everything. But I had done a group from Lawrence, Kansas. They had came in town and they requested a tour, and I guess done a pretty good job because they wrote the school letter saying Eric did a good job leading us on the tour.
Awesome.
And they put a $50 bill in the envelope.
Nice.
Yeah, real nice because the school was supposed to get everything, but I kept the money.
Yes.
And then
that was your tip.
Yeah, turned the letter in and everything. And so that was actually seed money.
Yes.
And then, so that kind of like inspired me where I could probably start a business.
Yes.
So I've done a number of different things. I've sold insurance. I've worked in social service and everything. But my passion was always Kansas City's Black history.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
so now here's the chicken. Mm-hmm. Now, you get like, you know, I think I use like 2 chicken breasts.
Okay.
And I season the chicken breasts, and then I just put them, you know, in a cast iron skillet and with a little bit of grapeseed oil and let them cook.
Oh, grapeseed oil! Wow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then once they're done, I just slice that chicken as thin as I wanted it.
Okay.
Now, again, that's because I don't like the whole pieces of chicken in my curry. I want little pieces of chicken, and so we're gonna dump that in there.
Oh man, that looks awesome.
Mm-hmm. Wait till you taste it. And so then the next thing we're going to add, and that's actually going to be it, and then we'll let it simmer. We're going to add a little bit of coconut milk, y'all.
Okay. Now, so curry chicken is a West Indian food, and you know so they basically, the West Indians, African Americans, Africans from that were in Trinidad, Jamaica.
Yes.
The Virgin Islands and
yes.
everything. They were on the slave ships with us.
With us, absolutely. Yes. A little bit of chicken broth.
Okay. Yeah, so we were scattered along in the West Indies.
Yes.
In Brazil, South America.
Yes.
And along the southeastern seaboard of the United
States.
Belize,
all the areas.
Yes.
And so this is a curry spice, and so we're adding a little more of that. That's what we're going to add all of that that's in there. It smells so good. I love the smell of curry. And so, oh my God. Now one thing you're going to have to tell everybody how fire it is.
Right.
Okay, so we say fire.
Fire.
Fire, okay. Yes. Okay. And so then, you know, we are going to put a lid on this and we're going to let it simmer.
Okay.
Okay. And then when we come back, y'all, Eric's going to taste and he's going to tell you how fire it is. And then we're going to finish our conversation about the tours, the Kansas City tour. So we'll be right back, y'all. Now, Eric, one of the things I always ask my guests is, can you share like a fond memory when you were growing up? Because again, we do this so that we can use the kitchen as a platform to help bring families and communities together one meal at a time.
Sure.
And so like my guest last week, she and her fiance have an organization called Steptaculars.
Okay.
And so she learned how to two-step in the kitchen.
Really?
Her grandma taught her how to two-step in the kitchen. And so it's like, wow, that's an amazing kitchen
I got to
story.
take those two-step classes.
Yes, you should. Yeah. You should.
Because I can't be a Black Kansas City historian and not know how to two-step. I really can't.
Now, you know, that's how people can tell whether you're really a Kansas Citian is if you know how, because we grew up learning how to two-step.
Right.
I think I was like in the maybe 5th, 6th grade, and we're learning how to two-step from, you know, our friends who had older brothers and sisters. They're teaching us how to two-step.
Right. I missed all that. I mean, nobody taught me how to two-step back then.
It's not too spicy for you?
No.
Okay. Awesome. This is good, y'all. I wish y'all was here to smell it. Mm-hmm.
And the coconut milk adds a lot of character to it.
Mm-hmm. So, Eric, tell us about and you shared a little bit, about KC Tours. So, people who are not from Kansas City, even some people from Kansas City, really don't understand the significance of the 18th and Vine area, which is actually where the studio is, y'all. I think I've shared that with you guys before. And can you tell people why do you do those walking tours in this area?
Well, for one, 18th and Vine is where Kansas City's cultural identity comes from. And a lot of America's identity comes from 18th and Vine as well. When you look at the impact that this area had, on the shaping of this country.
Yes.
For instance, the National Negro Leagues.
Yes.
The Negro National Leagues.
Yes.
Was founded here in 1920 at the Purcell YMCA.
Okay.
And the Purcell YMCA, when it was built, it was the largest building west of Chicago, purpose for the exclusive use of colored people. It was open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It had 46 dormitory rooms, a gymnasium,
really,
cafeteria, and a swimming pool. It was open 24 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was the main socializing agent in the black community, in this community specifically.
Okay.
Everybody knew everybody. And so there was only one school that blacks could go to. There was Lincoln High School. And the Lincoln High School at 2111 Woodland is actually the third Lincoln High School.
Oh, okay.
The Lincoln High School that produced most of the musicians and kind of brought in swing music and jazz. That was at the Lincoln High School located in 1835 Tracy.
Okay.
Charlie Parker never really made it to the one located at 2111 Woodland. He actually dropped out of school the year that was built. That was built in 1935.
Okay.
But the one in 1835 Tracy, it was, like at the turn of the century. That's when that school was built. The first principal was G.N. Grisham. And then, in 1936, that's when that Lincoln High School became R.T. Cole's, which was a vocational trade and junior high school. And the first African American to play at KU, Maurice King, he went to R.T. Cole's. Played with Will Chamberlain. And Dr. Earl Thomas, he was the first principal at R.T. Cole's. But R.T. Cole's, he actually introduced manual trades into the Kansas City, Missouri School District. He was the first teacher, black or white. And he taught at the Garrison School for 50 years.
Wow.
The Garrison School is located in what they call Little Italy or Columbus Park. And it was in that area. See, blacks, at one point in time, before Plessy versus Ferguson in 1896, blacks and other ethnic groups, whites, whatever, lived amongst each other. In the Belvedere and the Hicks Hollows area. Over near where Columbus Park is. That's what they would call like the East Bottoms. But then after Plessy versus Ferguson, that's when they began to kind of separate the races and everything. And so blacks, they lived in that area, and then they also lived in the Churchill area, which was around 10th and Charlotte, 10th and Holmes. And they had, you have Allen Chapel AME Church there, and you also have Second Baptist Church there as well. And then you have Lincoln School, it was on 9th and McGee. And then you also have a number of different hotels as well. So it was a black community there in the Churchill area. And then people started moving along 12th Street. And so like around 12th and Charlotte, 12th and Holmes, that's where Dr. William J. Tompkins in 1906, he opened up a doctor's office. You may have heard of Leon Jordan.
Yes.
But his father, Leon H. Jordan, he had a club there. On 12th Street between Charlotte and Holmes. It was called the Autumn Leaf Club. And he was an early black Democrat. And Dr. J.E. Perry, he also had a doctor's office there as well. but there were no hospitals for blacks.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1903, there was a major flood that took place where the West Bottoms flooded out.
Mm-hmm.
The West Bottoms is actually Kansas City's first downtown. And we were the... So a lot of people don't realize it, but the Civil War started here first. In 1854.
Okay.
With the signing of the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which gave Kansas the opportunity to vote for itself, whether it be a free state or a slave state.
Okay.
And so over at the Shawnee Indian Mission, that's where they had the first election. It was an election to determine whether Kansas would be a free state or a slave state. It was established by the Reverend Thomas Johnson, and Johnson County is named after him.
Okay.
But
and they elected to be a free state, and Missouri elected.
Well, the first election, Missouri slave owners went over into Kansas and voted illegally for Kansas to be a slave state. Yeah. And so also around this time, you have, everybody's heard of the Kansas Jayhawks, the basketball team and everything.
Y'all know who Kansas Jayhawks are, y'all, right?
But nobody out there has ever seen a Jayhawk bird.
Probably not.
Because they don't come in.
They don't even exist. Okay.
Right. But the Jayhawks were actually slave abolitionists. They came from the New England area, the Massachusetts, Philadelphia. They were immigrant aid societies. They wanted to stop the expansion of slavery.
Got it.
So that was around the 1850s where they started coming to this area because Kansas was hot. They wanted to, find out. Everybody was watching Kansas to determine whether it be a free state or a slave state.
Okay. And so on your tours, people learn all of this?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, they learned that on all my tours. It's kind of like the background of Kansas City.
Okay.
And so on my streetcar tour, I have a streetcar KC, River City Civil Rights Tour, and it's along the streetcar route. And so it goes from the River Market to Union Station. Okay. So that tour starts right at the Missouri River. Because that's how people used to travel back then, in the 1820s, 1830s. Okay. When the pioneers were settling in this area.
Okay.
They came by way of steamboat.
Okay.
That's why the Steamboat Arabia is down there.
Yes.
But it was actually, Steamboat Arabia was just one example of a steamboat that actually sank to the bottom of the Missouri River. On average, 3 steamboats sank per year.
Oh, wow.
Because these steamboats were heavily loaded. The settlers, they came from the south. That's why Kansas City has a lot of southern characteristics.
Okay.
And Roy Wilkins, who was one of the pioneers of the Civil Rights Movement, he was the executive secretary for the NAACP during the Civil Rights Movements in the 50s and the 60s. He got his start here in Kansas City.
Okay, I see.
At the Call Paper.
Okay.
In the 1920s.
Okay.
And he said Kansas City was every bit as racist as Gulfport, Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was originally segregated. So the first people here in Kansas City, and I'm kind of skipping around a little bit, but the first people, so blacks could not, there were certain areas
we couldn't go.
Right. Yes, so there were small pockets throughout the city that blacks could live in, like the Westport area, where Penn School is. And Penn School was built in 1868 during the era of what they called Reconstruction, which took place right after the Civil War. And it was the first school west of the Mississippi River purpose for the exclusive use of colored people.
Wow.
Because during slavery, it was illegal to teach blacks how to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Missouri legislature in 1847 passed a law that said it's illegal to teach blacks, slave or free, how to read. And at the time, it was a black man. And it was also illegal for blacks to hold a church service without whites being present. And so at the time, this is in the 1840s, there was a black man out of St. Louis, Missouri by the name of John Berry Meacham. He started the first African Baptist church, and in the basement of the church, he taught blacks how to read.
Ah, okay.
And then with the enforcement of that law that made it illegal, when they came out with the formal law making it illegal to teach blacks how to read, he was a carpenter by trade, so he built a boat and parked it on the Mississippi River, and there on the boat, runaways would make rafts and float out to his boat to learn how to read.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. James Milton Turner, he was a student on John Berry Meacham's boat, and after the Civil War, he came back to this area and he helped set up Penn School. He helped set up Lincoln University in Jefferson City.
Okay.
They threatened his life in Liberty, Missouri, and in Independence, Missouri.
Which are areas you can, if you're a black man or woman, you can still get threatened.
Yeah, but
for real.
But but in Independence, Missouri, there was a black settlement there as well, known as the Neck.
Okay.
And they had some pioneering blacks in Independence, Missouri. One being Sam Shepard, who in 1827 built the first courthouse in Jackson County. Okay. At one point in time, it was the only courthouse from here to the Pacific Ocean.
Wow.
And during the Civil War,
all of that black history right here.
Right, and that's in Independence, Missouri. During the Civil War, Sam Shepard ran away to Lawrence, Kansas, but he lived to be 125 years old.
Wow. Okay.
See, Independence has an earlier history than Kansas City because the settlers, they came from the east, the southeast, and they moved west.
Okay, got it.
So
that makes sense.
You would get to Independence before
you got here.
Kansas City.
Yes.
And so it was right off the Missouri River, not Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And out of Independence, you have 3 trails. The California, Santa Fe, and the Oregon Trail.
Okay.
Coming out of Independence, Missouri. And a lot of people using those trails were also using Hiram Young stagecoaches and ox yokes. He was a black man who had a stagecoach factory.
Okay.
He made thousands and thousands, like 8,000 ox yokes a year.
So let me ask you this. So where does one gain all of that information? All of that, I mean, because for sure our kids aren't taught this kind of stuff.
Right.
That you're talking about. So you did say you're a history major, so you just kind of...
I have a degree in history.
Okay.
But most of my education, what I talk about on my tours, all that information was obtained, after college.
Got it. Okay. You just out there researching because you want to know.
So when I first started doing tours, it was through Genesis School.
Okay.
Which was a school for at-risk youth. And part of the curriculum was the hip-hop tours.
Yes.
And they were created to keep, young people engaged in history. And that's why they were called hip-hop. And so, with that, I was able to bring in and meet a lot of people that have done a great deal of preserving and protecting the integrity of our history.
Got it.
One of them being Sonny Gibson, Elvis Sonny Gibson. He went to R.T. Cole's too.
Okay.
Not two. I didn't go to R.T. Cole's, but he went to R.T. Cole's.
Okay.
But he's written several books, Mecca of a New Negro and early Negro history.
Okay.
2 volumes, and it's published some smaller books as well. But he's a mentor of mine, Lloyd Daniels, and just people, my parents, people that I've had the opportunity just to be exposed to.
Got it.
So many.
Yes.
But
and then you share that in your tours.
Right, I share that with my tour. And,
I love it.
But a lot of the information that I've obtained is just by reading on my own and just doing research. I've worked with Rodney Thompson, and I've done some research for him on documentaries on 18th Street and 12th Street.
Okay.
So,
love it.
I've just been blessed.
Yes, I love it.
Able to, then I have primary sources that are still living today that are in their 90s.
I love it.
That's something that, nothing can.
Invaluable.
It's invaluable. You can't.
Absolutely.
You cannot put a price tag on that.
No.
But because they're primary stories of people that have lived it.
Absolutely.
And by me being a native of Kansas City, born and raised here in Kansas City, and my family's from Kansas City, I probably have one of the largest families in Kansas City.
Okay.
That's a whole other story. But I have access to a lot of primary sources, and just I just have that thirst for the preservation of our true story.
Absolutely. And it is, I tell my daughters and my granddaughter all the time that it is up to us to tell our story.
Right.
Why do we sit around and wait for others to tell our story?
Right.
Whether it's, the history of Kansas City,
right.
whether it's food, and what food means to us as a people, as a culture, we tell that story.
And food has always brought us together.
Always.
Always.
What
I wanted to do, and I forgot to do it, was print out a menu of the Lone Star restaurant to see kind of what some of the things that they had on the menu, what they used to eat back then.
Yes.
Because what they ate back then is not necessarily what
what we eat now.
Yeah,
no,
they ate a lot of ox and things
what was available.
Yeah, whatever
what was available. Yes.
But as far as 18th and Vine is concerned, as far as it making an impact on history, like people say jazz was born in New Orleans, but it grew up here in Kansas City, which is true. But also ragtime has its roots here, and rock and roll. And a lot of people don't realize the rock and roll connection that 18th and Vine has. There was this, and also a number of pioneering blacks. One of them being Winston Holmes.
Okay.
And Winston Holmes on 18th Street, he owned his own. He was a promoter. He was a music promoter.
Okay.
So he owned his own record label.
Okay.
Called Merit Records.
Okay.
And it was
Merit Records.
Yeah.
Okay.
MERRITET. I shouldn't have tried to spell it.
Okay, that's.
Sure.
But we can certainly look it up. Yes.
But it's Merit Records. It was owned by Winston Holmes.
Okay.
He was a graduate of Lincoln High School.
Okay.
And he was a promoter of early Kansas City music before John Hammond.
Okay.
So he was one of the people that helped give people like Benny Moten exposure.
Okay.
So Benny Moten, he was taught by N. Clark Smith. And N. Clark Smith, a lot of people don't realize that there was an historic black college or university or HBCU in Kansas City, Kansas, known as Western University.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never even heard
of
it.
So it's where, so everyone's talking about the Quindaro ruins right about now. They just received national designation as a protected site and everything, but that was part of the Underground Railroad.
Ah, okay.
But so out of Quindaro, you have Quindaro Freedman School, which became Western University, which was an agricultural and mechanical school. And it recruited R.G. Jackson, who was considered the greatest organist in the country at that time, greatest African American organist in the country, and he organized the students at Western University into they sang spirituals.
Okay.
Like Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen, Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, and from those spirituals, the roots of the blues. So those are the songs that the slaves sang as they worked and toured in the fields.
Yes.
And so those like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, and those songs were used to communicate a lot of different messages.
Yes.
Some being even to run away.
Yes. I've read that before, yes.
But so he helped popularize those spirituals, and they raised money for Western University. They also had N. Clark Smith there as well, and he came from Tuskegee Institute. He wrote the school song for Tuskegee Institute.
Okay.
And under Booker T. Washington.
Okay, nice.
And then he came to Western University. And Western University was actually labeled as the Tuskegee of the West.
Okay.
And when it was an agricultural mechanical school, when they started recruiting these noted musicians, they started producing a lot of different artists. One of them being, have you heard of the stage play Porgy and Bess?
Yes.
Okay. So the lead star, her name was Etta Moulton.
Okay.
She went to Western University.
Okay.
Nora Hope Douglas, the first African American woman to earn a master's degree. She earned a master's degree in music from
we
school
need to
in
sit
Chicago.
you down and have just a history class.
Well,
I love it. I'm like, oh my God, yes.
Well, my tours are available Monday through, 7 days a week, actually.
Oh, 7 days a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's, you go to KansasCityTourCompany.com.
Okay.
So I run 3 different tours on a regular basis.
Okay.
I do Streetcar KC, a River City Civil Rights Tour, Streetcar KC, a River City Mafia Tour, and Bebop and Beyond, 18th and Vine Walking Tour.
Love it.
Also working on putting a tour together that would be a Jazz Mafia tour.
Okay.
On the bus.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Right. So we will put up your website.
Okay.
So that anybody who's interested, you guys, you have heard all of this knowledge just like spill out, just like he knows it like the back of his hand. Right. And what a jewel. To be able to tap into that. So Kansas City, if you haven't gone, we live in the city, but we don't know this information for the most part. Most of us don't. So tap into it, know your culture, especially your Black culture, and enjoy the tour.
Right.
Yes. And
www.kansascitytourcompany.com.
Awesome. Eric, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And thank
you
for the curry chicken.
Yes. So now you'll be able to go home and make it for your family.
Yes, and it is fire.
There we go, y'all. Y'all heard it from him. So peace out. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you soon. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, and all of that stuff. So peace out, y'all. Thank you for watching.
Peace.